defenders, I think, it's like.
Are we live? Of course we're live. People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. First things first, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night, depending on where else you guys are placed in this world. In addition to the United Kingdom where I am, please make sure you're hitting the like button, you're getting your talking points, you're getting, your just opinions in and things like that. Most importantly, I hope you're all doing well and safe. Hope you've all had a great week. Hope you're all having a strong start to the weekend, and again, hopefully the good times never run out. Hope you've all moved that much closer to your goals, hopes, dreams, and aspirations, and all of these sort of things, and you're doing what you can to overcome hardship. Now, appreciative to everybody that's locked in, appreciative to you lot who have hit the like button, and for those of you who support my YouTube and my Twitch day in, day out, week in, week out, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for it. I hope you can continue to do such. Now, throughout the course of this live stream, Kulasevski, we're going to obviously speak about that. Guendouzi's had something to say, little bits and pieces from Odegaard, Martinelli's dad, what else we got, Tomiyasu, just little pieces, and obviously your opinions, just shoot them at me, or any questions you've got. Again, you lot make it a privilege to be here day in, day out, live streaming and talking football with you guys, people. And whatnot. Someone trying to kill me live on my live stream. Oh my god. Cut. Jeez. I even got loud. Like, what's going on? I almost died live in the fields in front of you. Duffy tried to kill me, but we're back again. Jesus. Lord God. England stream later. Can't lie, man. I'm not feeling it, man. I got to look after myself, man. There's been a lot of streams that I've done when I haven't wanted to do it, and yeah, I just don't feel like it. I'll make a late fitness test, but just not feeling it, man. As much as I want to be here when SMITH-ROWE makes his debut, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it, man. Drink some water. How, bro? I might be dead by the time I go downstairs, brother. Hey, good thing I got some Ribena with me, some concentrate. Hey, almost died, bro. Almost died. What would be your ideal signing in January? Kulasevski, to be fair. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of him, or Karim Adeyemi, or Hosamawa, or Bruno Guimaraes. Bring me something like that. What you telling me? Big up DG. I'm there, my guy. Big up Rajan. Get the likes up if you haven't. CS, you're always here, and I appreciate it. I'm not being funny. Appreciative to everyone who's hit the like button so far, but we've got 52 of you locked in. We should have close to that. We've actually got 46 likes. So again, massive respect and praise for those of you who have hit the like button. Unexpected high bills due if you haven't, man. I mean, what should we, waste of time streaming that, bro? Probably, but SMITH-ROWE FC, and it's never a waste of time when I'm live streaming with you lot, man. Chiesa's a baller, but we can forget about that. You need to move for them, man, when they're at Florentina. Big up DG watching from Uganda. Thanks for the excellent work you are doing, mate. I appreciate that. Shout out Uganda. Shout out all the Ugandans. And obviously, shout out the continent of Africa for that matter, really and truly. Big up yourself, AM. Shout out the members, moderators, subscribers, long-term supporters. And obviously, if you're just joining this now, where do you lot want to start, people? Do we go Kulasevski? Do we go Martinelli? Do we go Tomiyasu? Where do we start, people? There's a bit simple. Do we go Guendouzi? Where do we start, man? We'll start at about 5 minutes. Let me let people filter in. And I just like the engagement, man. You should make this a series. I need to catch up on previous streams. Brother, playlists. Check out my YouTube playlist. I put all of my vids. I ain't going to lie and say all of them. I'm capping a bit. But I put the majority of them into little playlists for you lot. So then, you won't catch up. It's there, innit? Just check out the playlists. I can't help you lot beyond that, man. Man are saying Martinelli. Martinelli's winning 3-0. So I think we're going to crack on with Martinelli first. Happy Friday back to you, Matt. Tim, I appreciate you lot. Massive England fan, but I'm not really feeling these friendlies against Myanmar and Eritrea. When's England playing in them games? Is that some new information that's come out? DG on point as always, but allow the internationals. Dead football. Not all football's dead, but I'm happy to get a day off if that's what you lot are on. So obviously, you lot said Martinelli first. So Martinelli won 3-0 in it. 3 man said Martinelli first. So Let's start with Martinelli now. What's the timestamp? We're gonna say 5:20. Martinelli. Now, for you lot, let me know your opinions on Martinelli. Again, personally, I've already said mine. I think he's a good player. I think, yeah, I would like him to see him play more. I think Arteta could do a bit more to play him, but at the same time, I think fans gas it up a bit. I think when things have gone wrong, I think the Saliba thing and Martinelli on top of Arteta doing questionable things has been another stick to beat him over the head with. I feel at this moment in time, fans can't have everything. While I would love Balogun and Martinelli to get more minutes, and Martinelli hasn't been allowed to build up any real fitness and play all the time. I think fans try and have it all. Arteta can be criticised for a lot, he can be praised for a lot, and there's a balance in the middle. I don't think fans can have it everywhere. You can't have, I want to play, I want to get 3 points, I want to keep the squad together, I want to go on a winning run, I want to do this and that, and I want all the young players and things. If we change, obviously, if we now go and lose against Liverpool, then we can play, spots can be opened up. But right now, we're in a good run of form, we're winning. You can't really ask Arteta to play these young, to bring players in. The same goes for Pepe as well. Some players that are in the lineup could have been dropped, but they've been coincided with a fantastic performance against Liverpool. Sorry about that. Against Leicester, against Spurs, against Villa. Nobody's deserved to be dropped. Now, people that were starting at the start of the season, obviously there's an issue. They didn't have a lot of these luxuries. So yeah, I think right now we look more competitive without these guys in the team. There's a long, it's a long season. It's a squad game. We're gonna need Martinelli and people to step up. I spoke about Balogun on Twitch. I'll upload that later, so I'm trying to avoid him. But the only problem I could say is Martinelli needs more minutes off the bench, and that I can't sit here and say currently, Martinelli is a better option off that left hand side ahead of a Smith-Rowe being shoehorned out there, ahead of Aubameyang. Even if Pepe and Saka are moved over to the left, for Saka preferably on the right, but you get the point. I can't sit here and say that. I can't sit here and say Balogun needs to get minutes ahead of Lacazette and Aubameyang. I know Lacazette, is keeping it moving. I can't even say Balogun deserves it ahead of Eddie. I do believe so because he's going to be here long term, but Eddie was ahead of him in the pecking order. So I don't think fans can have it all the way. I do hope when AFCON comes, Martinelli gets opportunities. I hope Martinelli can join in with what Smith-Rowe and Saka are doing, because I think he was doing that before it became cool. A young player, beacon of hope, pressing and whatnot. There's a lot Martinelli needs to improve on. Obviously, there's the injury and the need to take time with it. So that's my 2 pence. But again, where's the article? He's actually, he's been linked with Corinthians people this week as well. There's actually 2 articles here. Hit the like button if you haven't. So I think we'll start with this, people. Again, share the screen and that. This is the first article. In a very surprising rumor this week, Arsenal youngster Martinelli was linked to Corinthians. Again, why didn't they buy him when he was under their noses at Etano? Obviously, that's probably leveraging the fact Edu has history and whatnot. Apparently, journalists claim to have spoken to the official who said there's been no contact between the clubs and there's no interest between the parts for a deal. We've got to remember this man signed a new deal very recently, whether that was to protect his resale value or whatever. He does have a future right now. He needs to dust off those cobwebs, find a bit of playing level and whatnot. He will get his chance. I can understand the frustrations with Martinelli, but for me, he ain't taking your chances in the chances you've had. Not that you've had many. And other players are looking better. And right now, we're winning games. When we're losing, obviously, even if we're losing, there is games where you need to be able to chop and change. You can't have the same 11 all the time. But we need to keep winning games. We can't, we're trying to develop youngsters, but if we can't be competitive every week and play youngsters every week and things, and it will probably unbalance the team. We found some sort of balance. So Martinelli, Pepe, Balogun, Eddie, all of these guys, you have to wait. It's simple as that. Unless there's injuries or whatnot, even Maitland-Niles, the minute certain man are fit, unfortunately, I'm probably dropping you out to play Partey when he's back in that, even though you've taken your chances. Do you get it? So it is what it is, but that's the first article where it's just was. Apparently the return lasted only a few hours, people, and as you can see, that one was quashed. Apparently, Nicola also managed to speak to his father, and besides talking about this rumor, they ended up chatting about the player's current situation. There's no chance of him going to Corinthians or any other Brazilian club. He went on to say, since he came back from an injury, he's been playing a lot less than he'd have liked. There have even been some proposals from Europe. I don't know if that's permanent or loans, but Arsenal have already warned that they will not release him. João Martinelli, who is his dad, also pointed some of the reasons why the Arsenal board are fond of the player. People like him or not not only for what he plays, but also for his dedication. Martinelli is always the first to arrive for training and the last to leave. So again, you know, considering he scored 12 goals and 7 assists in 56 appearances for us, I don't think when you've got that mentality, things will happen for you. But I do understand the naivety and damn right the frustration of a young man. If you're training, you're applying yourself, you're doing all you can. All you need is opportunities. I mean, Arteta is someone that waffles on a lot about training and the need to train. You know, he says Eddie's been a good trainer. Martinelli's training here. Martinelli will get his time. I think people just need to allow it a bit. If he doesn't, then he needs to leave. Isn't it really is what I would be saying. But I'm not worried about the situation because we talk about, for me, we can't carry anyone. Martinelli's 20, he's still young. He does get carried, but we can't afford to carry him. You know, he can't be in the team right now. We need to get 3 points. If we go on a losing run, people that have grabbed onto first team shirts start moving shaky, then of course, obviously, it opens things up. There's a lot of football to be played. We're assuming, sadly, that there's going to not be any injuries. There's going to be lots of bumps and bruises, twists and turns. I do sympathize with any footballer, whether they're the young ones or less so much, but the squad players sort of thing, because this is probably the worst Arsenal season to be out of the first team picture, Car. You ain't got however many games the Europa League boosts into your calendar and whatnot. You've got, you know, you have to rely on any minutes the manager sees fit to give you. You have the occasional cup game, you know, and Martinelli never took his chances in the cup. Let's have it right. Pepe as well. So, yeah, man, I do think, though, if he continues not playing, it's someone that is a place we need to look at. I disagree. I think Martinelli is ready, but I just don't think he's, you know, I think people overhype it. I think he's ready for first team football. I think he's ready to start games week in, week out in the Prem. I just think it's a timing thing. We have to allow him with the injury. He needs to earn his spot in the team. And I do think Martinelli is one of those players where man overgas it. Like, you know, it's not a, you know, overdoing it. Oh, why isn't he involved? It's not a that thing. Sometimes he's been involved and he's not done much. I sympathize with Martinelli because half the time you're not involved for a month, brought back in, it's difficult to show your best. And mainly last season, when he's brought back in, he's playing with Cedric at left back away from home. It's dead. You know, it's not going to work. I believe in Martinelli because I remember when we got smacked against City, him and Lacazette, the only two players on it, that same game, Runnison started hiding. People, I appreciate the fact that we're 108 people locked in. Please hit the like button so we can hit our target within the first 20 minutes. That'll be a W. We need to remember the man's injured. But as I said, for me, it's just a case of bring the man off the bench a bit more, man. I think the one thing Martinelli is there's an issue is right now there's been Lacazette and Aubameyang. They're playing well. The left-hand side's congested. I think personally Arteta has a love affair with SMITH-ROWE and Odegaard being on the same pitch at some point in the game, you know. And even that, Odegaard's been dropped. This is we say we want competitive nature. I know the average squad age of our squad is 23, and I want Martinelli to be a part of it, but it's competitive. You know, Leno, you know, Ramsdale never got his opportunity straight away. Now it's a bit different. We knew sooner rather than later we would have to see who is the number one ahead of Ramsdale and Leno, and it's not a thing like we've seen with Czech and Leno and a couple of other clubs where you've got two guys that can be number one and it's an elephant in the room. Leno had his opportunity. Probably for me, I don't even think Leno deserved to be dropped when he got rubbed out, funny enough, even though he conceded 5. Ramsdale's got his chance, holding on to his shirt. You know, when your chance comes, you have to take it. You know, Odegaard had a shirt, he's lost it. You know, Maitland-Niles has had an opportunity, he's taken it. I don't know if that means you're playing against Liverpool. You get it. Tavares has had to be patient. It's been a mixture of, sadly, an injury with Tierney, but he's had opportunities. And really, considering Tierney's form, if he is fit, for me, Tierney plays against Liverpool, but you can't say that Tavares doesn't deserve to not play. Now, obviously, if Tavares plays in that game and he F's up, then we start convinging it with it. You know, it's 38 games, and especially for 20-odd-year-olds or an average age of 23, we're trying to get that higher echelons of consistency. And since everybody's been fit, we have. But that's about... See, I don't know when it actually would be. You know, I probably... How many games has everybody been fit? And what I mean by everyone, I would probably say, you know, the new signings, everyone who's meant to be part of this thing. How many times have they all played together? I would say, maybe 6 to 10 times of such. We don't know if we can get that 38 games in the league. So they're learning. So there's going to be opportunities. There's going to be times. Smith-Rowe could have been dropped this season. If we're real and our attacking options were a bit stronger, Saka probably wouldn't be starting. For me, most important player in the team plays on the right-hand side. But if we're real, he could be dropped. So there's opportunities galore. It's just about taking them. We want competitiveness. This is what the reality is. And we can't afford to carry passengers. I'm not saying Martinelli is a passenger, but you man are on the outskirts of things. Get your chance, take it, seize onto it, you know. We got to remember how young Martinelli is, not just in terms of his age, but also in terms of his footballing IQ. You know, this was a man that was playing at Etano, didn't play too much. This was a man that initially was going to be in the 23s for Arsenal. Shelled it up for Unai Emery, made him say, hold on, who's this Brazilian you in pre-season? He's in the first team, got his Europa League chances, just like Saka, took it. You know, you look at Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe took a while. What was Smith-Rowe, turning 2021 last year? It's been a massive 11 months. Everyone develops at different rates. For me, with Martinelli, the things he can improve, play with your head up a bit more. I think he needs to refine his technical quality. He's a bit scrappy. He's got to become a bit more polished. And obviously, just make better decisions. Things I'd expect with a 20-year-old. Obviously, when you're hyped up and Ronaldinho's gassing you and Klopp's gassing you, and he's exciting, innit? Like, for me, one love to Saka and Smith-Rowe, and that I think he's got the most potential out of all of them. I might, you know, and I'm sure many of you would agree. You know, right now, it's looking fraudy right now. And one thing I like about him is Ramsdale's got it, but it's different. And I don't like to use Alexis Sanchez, but Alexis had it. There's something infectious about how Martinelli moves, and that's from me watching it on TV, watching it at the ground. I think there's something in this. Listen, I don't know for potential and all these things. What I know is that he can be a very good player for Arsenal, and I think his timing. If it's not, then I'm going to need some sort of evidence from Arteta and Edu as to why this guy isn't playing, you know. So hopefully he gets his chance when AFCON comes. There's opportunities there, and there's a lot of football to be played. Like I said, if we draw conclusions, we're the best thing since sliced bread. We're getting fifth. It's all back again. But reality is, it's November. Sad to say, there's gonna be losses. Same way we've had good and bad form at some point. We're gonna go through that. You know, Liverpool have had a wobble. By Liverpool standards, it's a wobble. You know, 2 games, they've dropped points. Ronaldo went 4 games without scoring. It was a crisis. He's back. These things happen in the season. You know, it's not going to be just like that. And just like as a footballer, your career is not just going to be a forward trajectory. Smith-Rowe's had a bit of adversity. Everybody loves him. There's going to be setbacks. There's going to be times he's not in the squad or people question mark his thing. Saka's gone through a bit of that. Martinelli's gone through it. Again, it's a timing thing, man. I think he'll be all right, but what I think and what happens are 2 different things. But yeah, you lot wanted to speak about Martinelli first. You got to speak about Martinelli first. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Let me see what you lot are saying, Carl. I started doing bare chattings there, man. I would say Smith-Rowe has the highest ceiling technically, but Martinelli for his mental and physical attributes looks mad. Listen, it's a good problem. Saka, I think people sleep on his potential. I don't think Saka's going to be the best in the world, but I think he's going to be a good player. Same with Smith-Rowe, same with Martinelli, but I just think Martinelli, like, obviously Martinelli's stock's probably rebounded a bit. You know, he's not playing. You know, obviously it is what it is, but I just think Martinelli's different with it. There's, you know, I think genuinely Martinelli and Gabriel, if everything goes right, them man are not going to be at Arsenal for long. But it's a good problem to have, you know, and it's a good issue because you could have Martinelli as a striker or off the left, Smith-Rowe in the 10, Saka there, Odegaard not too much older than these, man. Couple other examples, you know. Again, I'm keen to see this squad develop and what's the right word, like reach maturity and that. Whether I don't know if they're going to win things or do anything, but I'm keen to see what half of these men are looking like at 24 to 26 and the ones that are with us that longer. It is what it is. But again, competition breeds, you know, the more we got competition, the better squad we can have, man. No Tierney bench. It's a merit thing, DG. I hear that, Omar, but for me, I'm probably going to go with Tierney against Liverpool. I'm not going to lie, but I can't sit here and say no to Tavares because Tavares has been playing quite good. But at the same time, you know, both of them could get ripped against Salah and we'll be sitting there and saying the other things. But I just go with Tierney. I feel a bit more comfortable with him. But again, Tavares can't be dropped. You know, Tavares can't be dropped. We're going to get into Kulusevski in a second, man. How high is his ceiling? Is the hype justified? Listen, I can't speak for no one else. I don't know what you lot say about Martinelli, but for myself, for me, DG, just accountable for myself, I think my hype of Martinelli is justified. I ain't said he's the best thing since sliced bread. You lot, again, I'm not listening to Arsenal fans because the bar's low with Arsenal fans. Tomiyasu, head as a ball, he's the best right back in the world. And I love him. I'm just painting a picture, you know. A couple of you were trying to fight me for saying Gabriel's the best centre-half at this club. We can go back and find them live streams. A lot of you were act shameless. A lot of you tried to fight me online for saying Gabriel is the best centre-half and for saying Gabriel is the best centre. Gabriel is not only the best centre-half, He's better than Pablo Mari. The bar is low for Arsenal fans. You know, they twist and turn on Pepe, on Aubameyang, on Lacazette, as much as some of them probably change their boxes less than they change their opinions. Myth. Bro, man, forget what Martinelli's on when he was doing his bits against West Ham, when he was setting it against Chelsea, when he set it against City. He's there, man. But I think what people need to understand is just calm down. And in a day and age where potential is that buzzword, man just need to calm it down. Like, he'll get where he needs to get to, man. But that's my opinion. Like I said, I can't be accountable for anyone's hype justified and all of these sort of things, man. Are you excited for what we could be in 3 to 5 years? I'm excited for some individual players, but I don't know if I can be excited for the whole project because there's a lot of bumps and bruises, twists and turns. Man said he might be another Walcott light, man. AM, you might get cancelled for that comment, man. I mean, it's no secret. I got a lot of bias to Martinelli, but it is what it is. But let's move away from Martinelli and crack on with this Kulusevski stuff. The good news, man, another player, man. You know, if you've been knowing me, you know I like Kulusevski. You know, the man can play as a winger. The man can play as in midfield. He can play as a 10. He can do a lot. He's very technical, got a wand of a left foot. Not the oldest as well, in his early 20s. You know, he's a player that we wanted since he was 16. He's a great player. He went off and played for Juventus. Allegri, I don't know if Allegri rates him, but, you know, we all knew when Allegri walked in, a couple of those players might not get first team. And he's been struggling for minutes, and I'm sure he wants to play. And, you know, we seem to get linked with a lot of Italian-based players in the last, well, from now till summer. Martinez, we bought Tomiyasu. We were linked with Vlahovic and Di Marzio's probably credibility's taking a hit. And after that, he's also primarily linked us with Kulasevski. So you've got to take it at a pinch of salt. But for me, at 25 million euros, that's a hit. You know, I don't know if he's gonna get mad goals, but he's an option on that left. He's a very good player. I like him a lot, the Swedish international. I'm probably the worst to be asking. Please make sure we're hitting the like button, people, and getting your opinions on Kulusevski, Martinelli, everything in. Start with the first article. In fact, where do you want to start? Let's go with the right way, people. Let's go that way, innit? Arsenal are considering a move for Juventus forward Dejan Kulusevski after being snubbed by Fiorentina's Dusan Vlahovic, with the Swedish starlet lacking game time in Turin. So that, on top of Arsenal having previous interest in him, previously being linked with him, wanted him since he's 16, being linked with a lot of players in Italy, you know, and the fact that he's not playing. When you look at Arsenal, on top of that, and the sort of thing we're doing, like he's in his early 20s, we've got a squad of early 20s, you can see why we're being linked. This could probably be 3 clicks. I would love us to spend 25 million euros on him in January, but I'm not going to lie, even though I think his potential's through the roof, is it what we need in the future? It could be. And I think when situations present itself, provided this is true, I don't think this is one Arsenal could or should reject, and one where I'd love Arteta to take advantage. I think we need a number 8. He can play as that, but he's not an 8. I think we need 8s. We need midfielders on the best of days. You lot can see highlighted even more why we need such people with the injuries we've got and all of these sort of things, people developing in and around the squad. So it's a bit of a mazza, but let's scroll the way down. Arsenal are taking a look at the Juventus youngster for January. Arteta is seeking a new forward, but was robust for Dusan Vlahovic. You know, he can play a lot of roles, so there's a lot of defining he needs to do. But I wouldn't say bringing him in to be a striker. Anyways, Arteta is keen to recruit a new attacker to help maintain the club's run of impressive recent form, and had identified Vlahovic as a possible option, but it was reported that the Fiorentina man had refused to answer calls from the North Londoners. Now Arsenal are launching their plan B and are interested in making a move for out-of-favour Juventus star Kulusevski, according to Sky Sports Italia, with the player making just 2 starts this season under Max Allegri. So he's not fitting in right now in a tactical point of view. You know, he's contracted until 2025, so has a while to go, people. And I'm sure there will, if anything, he'll just go out on loan. He scored 1 goal in 15 this term, people, and it's been restricted to being a sub/playing cup games. So you can see why he's being linked with Arsenal. He's probably frustrated about what he's doing. Arsenal were keen to, and apparently Spurs have been linked with him as well, just like we've both been linked with Vlahovic. So I'll leave the Daily Mail's article for where that is. Arsenal must pay at least 25 million euros for Kulasevski, for the Swedish and Juventus star. Di Marzio's reported this evening that Arsenal had contacted Juventus for Kulasevski after discovering Fiorentina striker Dusan Vlahovic agents won't even take their calls. Apparently, the former Atalanta and Parma man is on the market, having obviously not getting football under Maximiliano Allegri at Juventus. Juventus paid 35 million to sign him in January 2020 plus performance-based add-ons, and I mean, you really want to get rid of him already. An analyst of the latest Juventus finance statement shows how much weight each individual player has on the club's balance sheet. It's easy for them there to calculate the minimum transfer fee to avoid making a net loss on the player. Kulasevski would be sold at a capital gain for anything over 25 million, although Juventus would more than likely command far more for a 21-year-old, especially if the buyer is for the Premier League. So they are trying to fleece us. They would be trying to fleece us in that regards, people. So that's that, you look, make of it what you want with Kulasevski. I mean, he can sign for the club. I'd want him to sign for the club, but it doesn't seem like that's one that's going to be happening. But as I said, he's someone that if there is a small chance of getting that one, I would do all I can to bring Kulasevski to the carpet. How do you even spell Kulasevski? Kulasevski, just spell it. There we have it, people. So yeah, man. Let me scroll down. Martinelli is a little cacker, nothing like cacker, but I respect your opinion. The 2 knee injuries halted his progress into the team. Martinelli just needs game time at another club on how to bully English defenders. He needs to improve a bit physically as well. Martinelli in that first season was a player. Bro, Walcott was a good player, but you're buying him. Martinelli's better than him, man. Pattern that was terrible, man. Clubs move like top shotters with their players. 25 million euros is a steal. Just get Auer. Don't know why Arsenal are dragging this. I think we've just got to bite the bullet and accept Auer isn't signing for Arsenal, if I'm honest with you. Martinelli's being treated badly by Arteta, like the way Wenger treated Serge Gnabry. Young players need game time to develop. After Gnabry's injury, he was set back, but he pursued game time. Look at him now. Yeah, we wanted to play a Iwobi. A lot of people never give Gnabry credit for helping us in that 2014 FA Cup run, man. I swear he was playing against he played against Crystal Palace away from home that season. Martinelli will get lots of game time come January. Don't get giddy, bro. Arteta is the worst manager in the league. Harsh. As long as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still doing his thing. Man, not forgetting about Walcott. I'm not forgetting a damn thing about Walcott, but Martinelli's better than him, bro. Walcott, come on now. Shout to him for them Champions League dribbles and whatnot, but dead, man. We're paying the price for not having a manager that's great at developing young talent. Arsenal would have done bits with Martinelli. I think Guendouzi, Saliba, Martinelli, I think they would have loved it. From a selfish point of view, I would have loved to have seen Odegaard under Arteta. I would have loved to have seen Smith-Rowe, Bukayo Saka, more of Reece Nelson under him. I think Guendouzi would have, he'd still be an Arsenal player if it wasn't for that, but it is what it is. I do think Arsenal need to look at revamping their forward line as well as midfield DG. I do think there'll be a surprise exit in the summer. Can there be surprises in this team? I think we need a striker without a doubt. I can't lie, Martinelli's been rubbed. Nothing is more scary than when Martinelli goes down after a tackle. His reactions look like he's in agonizing pain. Probably is half the time. Some of these clamps you get in professional football in these days and the stuff that for Arsenal goes unmarked probably is, but it is what it is in that regards. 127 likes, people. Keep running it up. First things first, I appreciate that. Pat on the back for everyone who's done that, man. Yeah, keep your opinions on everything coming, man. Again, South London's finest. I agree with, well, it's not even that I agree. The club went to go and try and buy a striker last summer. I think if you look at this team, we should have been knowing what striker we're bringing in the minute Aubameyang signed that new deal. But with Aubameyang not getting any younger, and he's got a year to run on his deal, with Lacazette's future running out, with Eddie not showing his levels / contract, we don't know what Balogun's, clearly we need a striker. I'd say striker and midfield. Striker, midfield, if he was to scrutinize it a bit more, for me, I'd be open to bringing in. If you can't bring me a striker, which I think we can get, I think I'd be prepared to wait another year for a proper pedigreed striker if you can find me a talisman, preferably a wide left winger who can grab goals. I would like 2-8. Personally, I think it's not even me. You need to look at a plan B keeper. Leno's not going to stay being number 2. And I think right back, whether that's a plan B right back or if that's a right back that can fight Tomiyasu, ideally, obviously I want someone that's good defensively, but when you look at Tomiyasu, he's very much the old school, the throwback, somewhat almost like Gary Neville-esque in that it's defend first, it's steady Eddie stuff first, and then, you know, and it's everything else second. And I want Tomiyasu to improve in that regards because he needs to. There's no way around it. But I'm okay with that. I can accept a player for what he's about. When I was looking at you at Bologna, not that I was extensively preying you, you didn't strike me as an attacking fullback. So as I always say, I'm not expecting you to turn into the Japanese Dani Alves. Work on it, improve a bit going forward. But that's what you are as a player, as a man. That's what you've shown so far in your 22 years of age. You're steady Eddie. So do that. So can you bring in a right back that, even though I want him to be good defensively, just, you know, he might not be as good as Tomiyasu defensively, but he's better than him you know, he's better than him in an attacking sense. Then you have options to flirt against, because until I see anything more, I think Tomiyasu is just a steady Eddie squad option at this moment into that. We don't need to gas it. I'm not trying to belittle him. I'm happy with Tomiyasu. I love it. I'm gassing up anything he does. But, you know, I think the jury's still out. I think he's justified his price tag already, the 20 odd million. Same with Ramsdale. I think, you know, that's 40 odd million that Arsenal haven't, you know, we haven't justified Xhaka's. We justified that one. So it's all right. But yeah, that's an option. Max Aarons, don't mind him, man, but it's mad, man. Too soon for Martinelli, can't say I agree. We need to relax on TT. He's been here for a minute. I just think there's many suspect. Even Ramsdale, he's got suspect elements against him. But no one wants to speak about it until they make a glaring error. DG, Guendouzi has the minerals. Arteta hates him but loves Xhaka. Guendouzi will outlast Arteta. Not if you go on base the recent comments from Guendouzi. Again, as much as I want Guendouzi to be part of this, we need to accept he's not in it. Like, it is what it is. We need to move on now. You know, no one's bigger than the club. You know, Arteta, Xhaka, Guendouzi, no, I hear you, but it's gone now, innit? Isn't many good strikers available. There isn't many household strikers, I would say, available. And obviously, there is a surplus of household name strikers. Like, you go back, I'd want to say 10 years, but before that, you had bare strikers at all levels. Now, there's not really P's to quality. But if you're doing the scouting thing, we should be able to do that, man. And I think while I would love it, we're not going to get someone in their prime. We might, you know, I would love a Kareem Adeyemi just before he hits that, but it's not going to happen, is it? We got Aubameyang. I don't think we're going to find an Aubameyang, or we might have to take a chance on if there's another little Lacazette. And if you don't want to spend 52 million on a man that can't score 20 league goals, that's where we're going. So I'm just trying to piss off the Lacazette fanboys, which I am one. Would prefer Lamptey, but I feel Arsenal would choose Aarons. I think Aarons is probably more attainable because Norwich are more of a selling club. But saying that, we just bought Ben White from Brighton. So I would prefer Lamptey over Max Aarons. I think Max Aarons is good, but I just think he's one of them names where he's just thrown out for the sake of throwing out names. Yeah, man. The jury's out on every player. The jury's out, even players that weren't bought this summer. The jury's still out. Nobody has proven anything, you know. No one has proven anything this season. Not the manager, nothing. It's a good run. We're doing well, but all that matters is me. I'm not. There's many Arsenal fans that will waffle of, you know how you got Arsenal fans that will edit the table of, oh, since this we were top. Not that counts for much. I'm not one of them. I love the sentiment around the club, but this all it could be a period. We weathered the storm in a negative period. We're riding the highs in a positive period. We need to see it through to the end. All that matters is May. I do not care if you went on a 10-game unbeaten run from now till whenever it ends. If in May we're 7th, we're 8th, we're not, you know the simple problems. You need to get into Europe. Ideally, Champions League, hopefully Europa. I don't really want to say the same with conference, but you could sit there and say at least it's Europe. If you're in a similar position that you found yourself this year, it's all a myth. You can forget about everything. Really and truly. We're always in it. Well, Toby, love to the members. That's because this club, we love the rebuild. We love projects, unfinished projects. It's like a puzzle. We'll solve a puzzle and then there's 4 pieces. We won't pattern it up. How many times have we sat here? We've got defenders. We ain't got a goalie. We got a goalie. We don't have a defense. We got a left back. We don't have a right back. We have a right back. We don't have a right winger for the partnership. We have a striker. We don't have a cam. We have a cam. We don't have a striker. We have a striker and a cam. We haven't sorted out midfield. You know, we've got a left-footed centre back. We ain't got a certified partner for him. We always love the sold separately bits and pieces. Same way United fans love all that accessories that Pogba needs. We need all of this. We're in love with unfinished projects. And this for me would annoy me because we've been here with English. I would say this is, I don't want to say English because Martinelli's there, Tavares, couple other men, but I would say youngster rebuild project 2.0 has started, or maybe even 5.0 because we're doing it bare in the Emirates. But, you know, I would say I compare this. It's a bit different, but I compared this little stage to when you had obviously the Oxes, the Wilshires, them kind of man. It didn't bang. Then we had what I thought was I would say Arsenal money thing, where, you know, we brought in Santi, then Ozil's coming, then Alexis is landing. Obviously, the spending got a bit reckless. Car, you spent 35 or so on Mustafi, madness on Xhaka. That's continued to the point where even we spent 52 million on Lacazette, 70 odd total outlay on Pepe. I'm doing a bit of these players dirty, but what I'm saying is, whether you hate or like these players, no one can unanimously agree. And as I think, when you spend big money, fans need to unanimously agree a man is a good baller. Like, there isn't too many times, like, big money in Arsenal's perspective. At the time, I'd say Alexis, you know, big money, justified. Santi, justified. Aubameyang, justified. For me, Ozil, because I think anyone that was at the Emirates watching him, the man was a magician. But if I'm honest with myself, you can't probably not. So we're going against years and years and years of bad practices. So we need to revamp that. But yeah, man, let me close up that timestamp, because we're going left, right, and center with that. What rating would you give Edu in terms of transfers so far? I mean, I'll give you 10 out of 10. If Arteta wanted these players and you brought them to the table, I never said Ozil isn't a GOAT, man. You're not listening. You're not listening. Don't do the confirmation bias. You know, it's not a confirmation bias. I love Ozil. I think he is, but I can't unanimously agree with that. But yeah, out of Edu, I'd give him a 10 out of 10. Oh no, don't let DG lie to you. I'm capping to you. Like, I would say a 9, 8, because on one hand, I'm concerned about Edu, because when you read the articles in the Athletic and all these things, you know, these man might have worked out. I don't think they was, but you heard, you know, Edu wanted Emerson Royal. He didn't want Tomiyasu. Arteta did. You know, he wanted Neto. Arteta wanted Ramsdale. You get it? So things like that, it makes me think, yo, what's going on? But at the same time, if a manager has told you, I want this, that, and the third, and you've gone out and got this, that, and the third, you know, you've done what you've needed to do in it, really and truly. You've done your job. My biggest problem, and I'll say it, I think this was a chance. While I'm happy with the youth side, the youth getting better and all the signings that have come in, they're young. I'm seeing stability. For me, I think this was a chance to revamp the midfield, to potentially find a partner for Partey, to find someone that's a bit more creative. And I still think we're winning games, but I look at it, I'm not really convinced in our midfield, really and truly. And I just think, I think we need. I just think midfield, you know, that's the one thing I could go for. I think it was a chance to really revamp everything. And I think if you could have got a midfield to go with this new core, we could have really done a lot, man. I mean, Balogun could be the real deal, but let's just let him develop before gassing such. We haven't seen him play 20 games at senior level, really and truly. How are you, DG? I appreciate you. I'm here with you lot. The engagement levels are crazy. We're having some interesting talks, and it's always a pleasure, you know. So on this Friday, I'm great, man. I'm great. Love for asking. DG, do you rate any of these strikers? Schick? No. Catrone? Not necessarily. I like Maxi Gomez. Xhaka was justified, to be honest. Not every signing will work out. Then it's not justified, then, is it? We know not every signing is going to work out, but it's not justified. You know, if we're still talking about if this guy is good or not, and as I've said, I'm on the fence with Xhaka. I don't think he's as great as his fam Xhaka sexuals, as I call them, make out. He's definitely not as bad as his scapegoaters make out. But if you get 100 Arsenal fans in this room, 20 different fans are going to say five lots of 20. They're all going to say different things. And when you get into their opinion, they're all going to say more. So it can't, if it polarizes opinion, you wouldn't say it's been justified, you know. And again, you could say every manager's using him, so you could say he's been rugged. But to play devil's advocate, every manager that seemed to put him in their first team on a regular basis, why you can't blame him? That's probably why there's problems in the midfield, and that's probably why they haven't achieved Europe. So I wouldn't go as far as to say the 35-40 million on Granit Xhaka has been justified. Sure, in terms of longevity and all of these things and the character you probably have, but I definitely don't think such, because we're still here polarizing opinion. That's a myth. Do you think Arsenal will re-sign Wilshere? Well, if you don't bring someone in, there's a myth. I've already spoken about Balogun. I think he's a quality player. Please stop spamming. It's just going to get people blocked. Respectfully. A new base form of this season fans are using to run agendas. It's dead, man. It's dead. Where do you think Arsenal will finish? More of the same, unless you can keep this up, really. If you show me you can keep this thing up, do what it is, it does what it is. Man said, I hate the Juventus crash. I prefer the classic old shield of the Del Piero, Lipiero. I chat to them and tell them, man. Would rather persist with Eddie if we can't get a household name. Arsenal are missing a star striker personally. Well, if Eddie don't want to sign a new deal, it's a myth. I'd start Project Martinelli through the middle personally. This is where Edu needs to go to Brazil and find me an 18/21 young fullback. I've been disappointed with Edu's what should be Edu's signing card. He can't claim Martinelli. He can't claim bare things. I don't know what Edu's legacy is. Like, obviously you've helped with this rebuild, but like I said, when I've seen you been linked with the players and Arteta's overrun you, is what it is. I rate Amari Hutchinson a lot, man. Top 5 value for money signings of the Emirates era. Well, off the top of my head, I kind of said it earlier. Alexis Sanchez, Santi Cazorla, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Koscielny. Do you know what? When you look back at it, I'm not saying he was amazing, and I think people rewrite history, but compared to the fee spent, Olivier Giroud, I think Nasri, there's quite a few. Would you take Dominic Calvert-Lewin over Isaac and Vlahovic? Probably not. Xhaka's working out now, to be honest. He has a role, but the last 4 years were poop. Is that it? I'll leave you to it. I wouldn't say it's working out, but fair play. What do you think of Abel Ruiz? The former Barcelona man ain't been keeping tabs on what he's bringing to the table since he's left Barcelona, but yeah, it is what it is. I just see someone say hi from Ghana. The comments gone, but big up the Ghanaians, them. Bro, low profile's trying to get blocked. Man said Ospina and Song. To be fair, I like Song. I think Ospina was dog shit. Pardon my French. You could say Ramsey as well. But Mislintat ain't coming back to this club. He's got a good project at Stuttgart. And you got to remember as well, with Mislintat, he not only wanted to do the scouting thing, he wanted, like anyone, he wants to get a higher job position. And obviously, man got overruled by Edu and all these things. He wanted to be a director. It didn't bang. I would have preferred him because he's got a hands-on thing. Like, I ain't watched the All or Nothing, but a lot of you keep saying, watch Edu, watch the Brazil All or Nothing. Edu's very stubborn. It's this and that and all of these sort of things, man. Van Bronckhorst to Rangers thoughts. Don't know too much about him as a manager, you know. So I'm keen to see what's going on, man. I mean, Mislintat Slyly was there. Appreciate you, Pepper Skull. I'm there, my guy, man. Everyone's good. Everyone's blessed. I hope everyone's good. To be fair, Van Persie, I mean, he wasn't bought during the Emirates era. He was there prior and crossed over. So, yeah, can't really include him in that question, if that makes sense. But yeah, if you're talking, man, that have just kicked the ball at the Emirates, yeah, man. To be fair, that's not necessarily true, Neil. You know, I don't think Edu asked for Ben White. I think that was Arteta as well. You know, the only non-Arteta request there has been to Tavares, where he openly says that was an analytical thing. How can we beat Paul? If you're Muslim, Christian, Hindu, whatever, make sure you're praying in it. Monreal. Again, Monreal, Tierney. Again, if we're to, I was trying to focus on the sort of guys that had the hype, but yeah, Monreal, Tierney. I'd say cost effective. Monreal, Tierney, Koscielny, and Giroud in particular. Yeah, man. Santi. I mean, I wouldn't put Podolski up there. The bar is quite low. As much as he's a fan favorite and he's amazing, if we put him in the top 5 Emirates era signings, then the bar has been very low at the Emirates, to be fair, so it might be appropriate. Aye. For me, anyways, Mr. Arshavin as well. Mr. Arshavin. I don't care how much he costs. I don't care how it worked out. Arshavin, that was a big money signing them times, and he excited me. Pause in the footballing sense. He was an amazing baller. So I'd say Arshavin's up there. And anything we're saying, I'd throw Arshavin into that ring as well. If I'm completely honest. Oh shit! Hey, you gotta throw Sagna there, man. You gotta throw Sagna. Apologies for the French. Gotta throw Sagna there. Worst signings. Now, to do that justice, I'd have to sit there and think. I don't think Mertesacker was one of the worst. We've had some shit, man. Still, we'll be here for a time. I mean, he's not the worst for me, Gallas, because that man was poison. Lassana Diarra only worked for 6 months. You know, you had Czech. You had, I mean, Chamak. You had Amari Bischoff. You had Real Mayachi. You had what's the other man name? Young. Bare shit, man. Lucas Perez was shit. Mad shit. Mustafi, probably in terms of the hype, the optimism and whatnot. Like there was a time we was unbeaten under him. Definitely up there. Bro, you lot, I'd stop there, man. Because the more I sit down, the more, you know, the trauma in my memories. Ospina, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Respectfully, people. If you lot don't think that, then it is what it is. But bro, Ospina was dog poo, blood. Like, I can't believe I was spending physical money that I was working for to watch some of the shenanigans Ospina used to do, man. It was tiresome. Trust, I was gassed about Arshavin, bro. Hileb, Vieira has to be there too. Vieira's not an Emirates era player, so it's not making sense. Andre Santos, he bought the bands, man. Like Dennis Suarez, oh Lord. Oh Lord, it's a no-go. Hey man, he done a madness, I swear, in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, so I'll allow him for that. Exactly, Hileb can't be there. Oh, we had some duds. Scalacci, oh Lord, hey, you're naming man that weren't bought in the Emirates, mace. We bagged some decent names from teams that were struggling financially. We don't make those moves anymore, exactly, because we're not on this football heritage thing, man. Sylvester, bro, I'm forgetting bare pensioners used to kick ball for this team. Bro, I can't lie to you. I think Sol Campbell, when he came back during the Emirates time, was better than Mustafi. Hot take of the day, people. Kim Kallström, he bagged the penalty, man. Let me allow him, man. Let me allow him. Original dream seller. I remember Wellington Silva, Pedro Buffello, Samuel Galindo. That was when we was doing bare things and the work permits weren't banging at all. We had some duds, man. We came through the struggle. I can't lie. Big up everyone here, people. Hit the like button. We're at 164. Let's begin our assault to 200. Granite Xhaka, a bit harsh. Bit harsh. Man said Kim Kardashian. Oh, man. And RIP Reyes, but Reyes wasn't here during Highbury. That's a bit harsh. Man said Pepe, Laka, Czech, Mustafi, Ospina. Bit harsh. Bro, William, definitely up there. Definitely up there. Runnison. I might just allow Runnison because you could see in his face, he knew he was a dud. He knew he weren't levels. He knew he just won this in lucky dip. Bro, Kolasinac, defo there. I mean, Wenger didn't want him. Lucas Perez was shit. I can't cap, man. Bare lightweight and that, man. Senderos said he weren't Emirates era. He weren't bought during Emirates era. PG worst signing was William and Mustafi. Javino wasn't that bad, lol. Lupoli, serious throwback. Hybrid days. Pablo Marie. Jeez. You lot just throwing him in there. If we sign Kulusevski, surely Martinelli has to become a striker. I don't know if there's a link between the two, but why not, man? Real Miyachi. But yeah, away from all of that, let's crack on, people. Actually, Lacazette's been linked with a move back to Lyon now. Again, I don't think that happens in January. I mean, maybe Lacazette plus some money for our. Maybe there's something we could do in that regards, people. He's been linked with a return back to them. Again, it's probably just Was. I don't know if they've got the financial structure, if they'll make sense. I know it could be a good place for Laka to return home. Apparently, Juninho is working on bringing Arsenal striker Lacazette back to the club. Lacazette is preparing to leave at the end of the season. As you know, he's been linked with Newcastle, pardon me, and Atletico Madrid, but he's been linked in this past week with a return back to France and Lyon, people. Apparently, Ikram Konor is reporting Juninho is keen to sign Lacazette in January. Now, I don't know if we're going to let Laka go in January because he might not be a winger, but we're going to lose Pepe as a body. So I think between Martinelli and Lacazette, they're going to be needed. Even not that Pepe's anything more than a bit part player, man. I got my baby boy with me, and he thought you were a FaceTime call and ran off because he's shy. Big up yourself, bro. Hey, tell him I'm not ugly, man. I don't bite. Big up you and big up your youth, them, man. Big up all the kids out there. A bit harsh. Bye, run off. Don't get shy, broski. Don't get shy, man. What's his name? Is Kulasevski any good? Yeah. I like Joel Campbell, but it was meaty, man. It was basic, man. Atletico won't have him on higher wages either. Neither. Again, I would want to go. If I'm Simeone, I think a lot of the problems with Lacazette, he would overcompensate with how he plays at Atletico. I think he'd be a good look at Atletico. I don't think he's going to score the goals, but he'd be a good look. So yeah, he's been linked once again with a move to Lyon, back to Lyon. So that's the latest club. We've spoken about that. Guendouzi, people, apparently he targets permanent Marseille stay. Not that he has a chance. Matteo Guendouzi has told Arsenal that he is targeting a long-term stay at Marseille after being frozen out by the first team by Mikel Arteta. He left and he went for Berlin. Now he's where he is now, people. He said, I'm on loan and still linked to Arsenal, but I'm focused on what I have to do with Marseille. I want to be part of the long term with Marseille. I'm very comfortable there. I want to continue to enjoy myself at Marseille. And he also went on to say, people, Marseille are the biggest French club. They are very popular abroad. I was already followed when I was at Arsenal, but I have felt more notorious climb. I can't say that word since I've been with Marseille. I am proud to be here. I'm in one of the best squads in the world. I learn and I progress. I hope to be here for the long term, to make as many squads as possible, to win trophies with the team. The most important thing here is to be here long term. So yeah, that's buried his, again, we already knew he was not returning to Arsenal. And I know Arteta played a bit coy, but yeah, it looks like he's all but a Marseille player. He's burned any bridges potentially more than he could have already, which by Guendouzi's standards, that's just very difficult to do. It is what it is. I think the only thing we shouldn't have done, and we might have taken a risk. I think we shouldn't have put a permanent option. I think we should have, considering he's getting in the French squad, I think, we should have let him return this summer and then look to have moved him on. We would have definitely made more than 9 million, which is the fee, allegedly, Marseille having this deal. But it's still a profit. It is what it is. I think he's going to go off and have a good career. We're going to go off and do our thing, hopefully. And we might wonder what happens. But in relation to Guendouzi, that's that. But yeah, he said he's eager to stay for the long term. These are just, let me see, because sometimes you miss things out, people. And as you can see here, people, he said, where is it? You missed it. The Metro didn't include everything, people. He said, today I'm on loan and still bound by my contract at Arsenal, but I'm totally focused on what to do with Marseille. And yes, it's a club I want to project myself into the future. I want to join long term. There are discussions that I've already had with the club before signing, and I felt comfortable here. That's why I want to continue to have fun at Marseille. Fair play, do your thing, people. He also spoke about how exceptional Benzema is, and I think, I did think he had the potential to be a French international. He's going on and doing exactly that, man. And he also spoke of how he said it here. I've had a daughter. I've grown up a lot. It makes you take a lot of responsibilities. You can feel it on the pitch. So yeah, big up him. He's doing his thing. Away from that as well, folks, Odegaard has been speaking. First things first, he spoke about why he deleted his Instagram account. I mean, not Twitter account. And I don't blame it. You see too much negativity. You see some nonsense. And I think at a point this season, Odegaard would have seen Arsenal fans calling him the best thing since sliced bread. And then they would have seen, probably in the last month or so, less favorable comments, people. He said, it's been a while since my Twitter was active. It was really because I never used it and had no need for it. You got a burner account. I never used it and had no need for it. I think a lot of shit in general is on there. I have no need to be on it. I probably did not have a Twitter update for a long time. Then I thought there was no point in having it, so I just deleted it. Fair play. A lot of it is anonymous and a lot of it is weird. It's a little scary that if you're not completely in the right headspace, you can be influenced by things. Smart lad. I would say, especially to the young players, that one should be careful not to look too much at things. It can be a lot negative. I mean, they all play up to it, really and truly. He did say as well it was frustrating. He's reacted to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang being a clown and taking his goal. And I think Aubameyang was very selfish in that game, as much as I like him, because you could tell he was just chasing the fact that I missed a pen. You could obviously, on one hand, the striker's following it in, but on the other hand, well, you can see you're offside. Bro, just leave it. Not that you can say leave it in football, but he said he was hugely frustrated when Aubameyang denied him a certain goal. I'm trying to just flick through to the comments. He actually said, it was a pity. I saw it nicely from the side. It was going in. I knew as soon as he touched it that he was offside. It was frustrating, but we won. If they had equalized, it would have been tougher. Which is true, man. It's true. And we know Aubameyang had a poor game at the office there, so he needs to just move on. But with that, people, that's that in relation to just clumping 1-2 other bits and pieces together. Hit the like button and subscribe if you have not. Hope everybody is enjoying their start to their weekend on this Friday. So that's that comment. Guendouzi does not want Arsenal return. So that's that, folks. So yeah, timestamps looking all pretty and that, looking all good. Everything's good. Everything is blessed. What are you lot saying, people? Nasri is one of the biggest what ifs. The guy was on the brink of a madness with us before he left. I've said it before. I think Nasri has had a good career. I think he could have been a great player, a serious player if he wanted it. And I'm not just talking about if he stayed at Arsenal because it's irrelevant. Yeah, man. DG, is there any news about? On Man United? I don't know, bro. You're gonna have to go find that. Stop spamming my guy. I don't know. We do the neutral thing on Twitch. I don't give a fuck about Man United right now. But I have to block you, bro. You spammed about 3 times. Man's not a United fan, bro. Go on the United fan channel, man. Know what this? We should get back Mateo. I would be on it, but it's gone, innit? Like, DG, what midfielder would you want in Jan? Guimaraes, Alwa. These guys can't happen, though. Watching highlights of Kulasevski now, he looks like he would be a good pickup for us. Ball carrier and got tricks. Wonderful left foot. Man said one of the best squads in the way. He's gassing it, man. You can't do multiple polls on YouTube, or I would do a poll on Lacazette. Guendouzi is gone, but the pricing was abysmal. Exactly that. You know, it was just, oh, we're broke right now. There's COVID. Let's just secure some funds. And we did that. And we all know it was a permanent transfer at the time. It's just been polished up in a nice way. Oh, Guendouzi's overcompensated. Man's acting like he had a choice, but you got rubbed out because you couldn't, you know. I'm actually more on your side, Guendouzi, than Arteta, but you got rubbed out because you couldn't behave yourself. Don't act like you had a choice. You never had a choice. But the winners are Marseille because what? Let's just say because there's been a fee agreed for 9 million, he's a £9 million rated player. How much would Guendouzi go for if we was to sell him now? Surely, considering the fact that he's involved in France and whatnot, that's 20. So my maths is poor, but you can imagine how much £1 million you've just missed out on by just making silly excuses. And to be fair to you, Edu is the one that deals with negotiations in that regards, man. Matteo is too advanced in technique of political football mind games for Arteta. He needed to kick him out to survive. I hear that, but I just think, as much as I think Guendouzi is a brilliant talent, and I'm his biggest fan, bro, there's a million problems at Arsenal Football Club. Man, don't have to be doing million problems and then dealing with if Guendouzi's gonna behave himself or not. Like, as great as he is, man, have to hold a box for them thing there. It don't really make sense. Big up yourself, Nate. I hope Nate's doing well. Hi, Nate. Come on, my guy. I hope you're doing well and safe. Don't be shy of the guy, man. Come on, man. Appreciate you, Nate. Twitter is too toxic. I don't blame him for deleting. The club needs a proper centre mid or CDM. I mean, we've got 2 people who can play defensive mid. Probably 2, maybe even 3. Kulasevski doesn't help that. Bit harsh, but respect the opinion. First time on your stream from again, Nate. Hope it's not your last time, my guy. Come on. Big up, DG. Are we doing any business in January realistically? Kenya in the building. Shout all the Kenyans and the mother continent of Africa. But truthfully, I don't know. I look at our squad and I'm like, surely a blind man could see you need a midfielder. You know you're losing a lot of players. You know we had a lot of work to do in the summer and we couldn't do it all. So don't you need to? Someone's got to pick up the slack. So I hope so, D. I hope so, but I don't know so, man. Shame Guendouzi won't be coming back, but I did say to you a while back that him having a kid would make him mature a bit more. I mean, we could all see that, really. You know, children change your life, but at the same time, he's still moving mad. I don't think it will break the group. You know, I'd want to punch up Aubameyang, but apart from that, it's blessed. And then said I voted yes, but I don't really know how Kulasevski plays. He's very cultured, man. A classical Arsenal player. Would love to Shemani, but then, man, you got to move for at Bordeaux. You got to sign off the back of his first season at Monaco. When they get a little hype, it's gone. What makes you say we can't do our or that other Lyon done in Jan? I mean, I can't see it happening. Like, I hope it can, but I just can't see it happening. Kulasevski can play centre mid. Not played there a while, but he can definitely play there, man. Playing a bunch of positions, but he needs to certify himself. I'd prefer Kulasevski over Rabiot any day of the week. That's what Edu is bad at selling. Only Willock was the only sale worth it. And again, would he have got a respectable sum for Joe Willock if Willock never batted things up? You know, again, I'm not saying Edu's a bad guy, but I just don't know what his legacy. If he walks away tomorrow, what's going to be his legacy? At least with Arteta, and to be fair, he brought in these young players. At least with Arteta, he can say he actually suggested these young players. He's got an FA Cup, and you've kind of found more togetherness. I'm not overcompensating, but I don't know what Edu's legacy is. We clearly have a decent team. Arteta, Edu, and the man at the top would have really dropped the bag for Europe if they don't bring in a midfielder in Jan. But I think they're going to drop it before that, man. Again, they used to be midfielders, so maybe they're seeing it and saying we don't need a midfielder. Do you think we'll see more of Sambi and Ainsley Maitland-Niles in Jan when Partey's at AFCON? Well, yeah, we're going to need other players to step up, man. Man said Kulusevski is just another Pepe. I would not have him at Arsenal. Would you take Ramsey on a free, assuming he don't want ridiculous wages? No. Sometimes you should leave relationships in the past. It's where if we're very desperate in January, then I'm open to exploring a loan. But I think we just got to move away from him, man. Just leave it alone. It's gone, isn't it? 203 likes, very appreciative. 284 of you locked in. Can we boost that up a bit better, people? You know, we come on. There's almost 300. If you haven't hit the like button, shame on you. Your boiler's going to break. Unexpected high bills. I don't know. I would rather an actual centre mid rather than a man that has to be shoehorned there. Well, yeah, like away from Kulusevski, I want a centre mid, but in relation to just Kulusevski, I would take Kulusevski to this club. I'd bring him to this club. But I agree with you. I want number 8s. Kulusevski can play that. He's not household name that. We sold Iwobi for peas. That's not Edu. Liverpool predictions, difficult to make a week from now. Have to see how I'm feeling next week, man. I can't lie to you. And what other Arsenal news is there? That's that. Apparently, Callum Chambers has been offered to Roma by Intermedi. So again, middlemen working on behalf of Arsenal, working on behalf of his agent, are trying to engineer a move. So he's been offered to Roma. Whether they bid for him or not is a different thing, but that's a future that we probably need to resolve. Tomiyasu's been speaking. No, Tomiyasu's done some interview thing with Yoshida. So, all right, cool. We scroll the way down here, folks. If we scroll the way down, again, he was having some. Listen, respectfully, what him and Yoshida are talking about beyond Arsenal doesn't mean much. But he said here, I want to go back to where Arsenal used to be. Yoshida has said, is it difficult for the final qualifying? I don't think it was. Let me scroll a bit down. He said, he spoke about qualifying, I assume, with Japan. He said, yes, to be honest, when it comes to pressure, I feel more when I'm doing Arsenal. And I've told you, he looks a bit nervous. He went on to say, well, they said that. I'm just trying to see what Tomiyasu has said. Google Translate ain't helping. This make no sense, man. So we're gonna have to leave this. We're gonna have to leave this. This ain't making no sense, Tomiyasu. It's done you dirty there. Really dirty. That's Kulasevski. Our good friend Mesut Ozil, folks. You've got our good friend Mesut Ozil there. Unhappy Ozil sent stern message by Fenerbahce president as ex-Arsenal star told to focus on football. You know, many people would say Arteta was the problem with Ozil. Maybe he's got, Guendouzi's gone, he's gone, Mustafi's gone, and everything seems to be singing on the same hymn sheet. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Apparently, he's been told to put his commercial interest to one side as he struggles for regular game time in Turkey, people. Sad for the 33-year-old man for what he done at Arsenal and Real Madrid. But his game time has been limited in Istanbul. His president said since the start of this season, Ozil has been compared to Van Persie. Ozil wants to play more. From now, he needs to focus on his game and keep his commercial interests out of it. He needs to think about contributing to Fenerbahce. Our coach also needs to try to figure out how to get the most out of Ozil. There is not a problem, despite what the media says. Ozil is unhappy because he does not play regularly. And again, he signed a 3-year deal. It's looking a bit mad. He missed a ton of games due to illness and the rest of it, people. That's Mesut Ozil. Again, Stan Kroenke offered 100 million to settle the Rams relocation case. Rams, a move, man. All this fucking BS, man. Stop all of this. You lot are confusing me. Sorry, people. There was too much going on the screen there. Rams owner Stan Kroenke is willing to dig deep in an effort to resolve the St. Louis relocation, but perhaps not deep enough. According to AJ Perez of frontofficesports.com, Kroenke has offered $100 million to settle the case. The offer was reportedly robust. Apparently, for specific context of that offer isn't known. For example, the plaintiffs demand $1 billion and Kroenke offered $100 million in response. It's almost funny how this guy moves. It's likely means that further negotiations could resolve the case in the range of 500 million. If, in contrast, the plaintiff stated 200 million, Kroenke began at 10 million. Further negotiation resulted in a bottom line offer from Kroenke of 100 million. So yeah, and this is also someone who donated to Trump as well. So again, it seems like he might be having his case settled. And again, you know, in relation to his other team, they might actually stand a good chance of winning the NFL and things. They're signing, you know, marquee players. They Rams have added Odell Beckham Jr. So in footballing terms, when are we gonna get some star players, eh, Kroenke? You know, you're doing the business over there. You got your son to talk about us and gas us and talk nonsense. So we'll have to see, man. It's mad. Would love to see Kessie at the Emirates. Apparently, Mane picked up an injury. I mean, respectfully, I hope Mane's injury isn't too serious. And at the same time, Mane being injured, it doesn't mean much because they're still going to be a very strong side, really. You know, and no disrespect to Mane, but they've got Jota who can step up. Firmino, if fit, well, Firmino's out as well. So that's potentially Mane and Firmino, but that's how other players step up. You know, is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain going to come back to haunt us? You know, any team that's got Salah, it's a problem. They've got Jota, Trent Alexander-Arnold, as well as just being a fullback, goals and assists can present issues. Bro, to be fair, I understand what he's doing in terms of negotiation, but Kroenke's dealing with them dirty, man. You know, Kroenke is dealing with them dirty. Kroenke NFL lawsuit signing star players. His NFL for his NFL side. 100 million is light work, man. Should beat. So he's at Bayern Munich, man. I think Partey's best as a box-to-box man. I don't think I'd make Kulusevski a striker. Yoni. Tomiyasu said, bringing back Arsenal to the top of the league would make it the best place in the world. Something like that. Can't find the tweet. I mean, yeah, man. That's what we want to see. Ozil going outside. Arteta was right on Ozil. Who behaved worse? Szczesny, Bentner, Guendouzi. I'd say Szczesny. I mean, Bentner in terms of just general behaviors. I'd say Szczesny just pissed off Wenger and Guendouzi just needed to pattern it up a bit. I mean, DG, personal question. What are your goals after the channel? Want to work for a club as a pundit? I'm open to everything. So if you got friends in high places, make the contacts and let's go, man. We're ready. DG, we need Nkunku. I wouldn't mind him. Kessié, Aouar, and Zakaria should be grabbed. That would improve the team. I can't lie. If you're going to get Kessié or Zakaria, I'd prefer Kessié. You don't need both. You don't need Kessié, Zakaria, Lokonga, and Partey. Like, it's just too much. Morning, DG. How are you? Best to everyone. Hope all is well in the nation. Everything's great, man. We've had a fantastic talk. What have we spoken about? Martinelli's dad's comments, Kulasevski. We started talking about Emirates era stuff, Lacazette's return, Odegaard's comments, Guendouzi stuff, and obviously Stan Kroenke's lawsuit business as well. Man said he's looking like Doctor Strange. Jesus Christ, you lot are difficult. You lot are harsh, man. More than anything, you lot are crazy harsh. What else is going on where football's concerned, man? I don't think there's anything else where Arsenal are. I mean, we can see what this is. Manchester United interested in Arsenal target Dominic Szoboszlai's RB Leipzig release clause reveal. I can't lie, I've gone off the Szoboszlai hype. I think he's a great player, but I don't think he grabs games by the scruff of its neck. And I think he needs a lot of accessories, you know. He's only 21. He is a very good player from set pieces and whatnot, people, you know. And he's got in 10 Bundesliga games, 3 goals, 3 assists. And he scored a penalty against PSG. He's got good nerves, you know. 51 million, I would do it, but I've gone off the hype a bit. And I could understand what the club, you know, at the time we was blasting the club. Apparently there was concerns about Szoboszlai. I can't lie. Upon watching him, you could see probably why. So Man United are interested. Arsenal are previously interested. Can't confirm that we are still interested. And I can't see us spending 50 million on him in the summer. In January. Hope to be wrong because I want a midfielder. Atletico Madrid have also shown an interest. Apparently, Arsenal may no longer be involved in the race for his signature after missing out previously. Arsenal were keen on snapping up the youngster when RB Leipzig signed him for just under 20 million in January, but their interest has waned with the price tag increasingly significant. So yeah, that's that really. So again, it's just Arsenal's name being included in stuff for the sake of it. Balogun did score yesterday. Congratulations to Balogun, people. He's been doing his thing. Needs to go on loan. As I said here earlier, people, Arsenal star offered to Roma in potential shock transfer. I don't know if an adventure to go play in Italy for Callum Chambers could boost him playing on a regular basis, could boost any of his chances of England. Not that I think he can grab that again. And obviously to play under Jose. I played under Wenger and Jose. That's a good one. Apparently, he's been offered to Roma in a shock deal, according to reports in Italy. He's made 2 Premier League starts this season. And he probably isn't going to play again. Apparently, Jose Mourinho is viewing the January transfer market as crucial, as obviously there's a lot of pressure on Jose. It's set to be particularly busy time for Roma in the transfer market as they look to strengthen their defense. Chambers has risen as a new opportunity for Mourinho, and he's been offered on behalf of middlemen, people. And obviously, his ability to play right back, centre back, and probably in midfield would probably be something for Jose, people. So again, pardon me, that's something to consider. Should we click on this official article? So yeah, as you lot can see it, people, Thiago Pinto and Jose Mourinho see the January transfer window as crucial for their plans. And yeah, Callum Chambers has been thrown up now. I don't mind selling Chambers because he's not got long left on his deal. Again, it frees up some finances and it allows us to do other things. But again, in terms of injuries, we probably, how stocked are we? Again, we're probably well stocked. But then it throws into question right back. And I do think Chambers is at this moment probably the second choice right back. I don't think Cedric actually is. Really. And between Cedric and him, I don't really know who's who. But then again, you've got Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who can play right back. In relation to centre half, Tomiyasu can play there if need be, and you can put someone at right back. But you've got Tomiyasu with an asterisk. You've got his mate Rob Holding, who could also leave. You've got Pablo Mari, who, yeah, I know we all forgot he was at Arsenal. You've obviously got Ben White. You've got Gabriel. That's 5. Next season, you might have Saliba. So, Chambers' days are numbered here, without a doubt. So in relation to Callum Chambers, that's that, innit? Really and truly, Chambers to Roma and them things there. Chambers to Roma. Obviously at 10 past 4 p.m, people, I'm going to be live on Twitch playing Football Manager. Keep Chambers, sell Holding. I'm a bit different. I'll keep Holding, sell Chambers, if anything, or sell them both. Chambers can bounce. Chambers can be his Eric Dyer. Does anyone know where I can watch the Arsenal movie? It's in the cinemas, but it's probably online. Szoboszlai is like Bruno. DG, what do you feel is the best solution for Pepe at the moment? Bro, just off the bench, sitting on his hands, really. I think he'll get his time. If you can move him on, look to move him on. But yeah, man. Question, DG, do you listen to Tion Wayne because he's from your end? He's from lower Everton, I'm from upper. But yeah, I like that anything. It's a banger still. But anyways, yeah, man. Why not? Dead Ball Merchant. Southgate will sign a new 2-year contract extension that will see him be the manager until Euro 2024 with terms that will make him one of the highest paid England managers ever. But you see the maddest thing about the Southgate thing, bro? You can't even disagree with it. And I disagree with it heavy about him being the gaffer, but he's got a semi-final and a final in the last 2 tournaments. You can't, and even his striker at the last World Cup was the top scorer. So yeah, and the young players, I don't think Southgate's the guy, but on paper, he's looking like the guy. And one thing I do like with Southgate is he's never ran away from speaking about racism or protecting his players with such. And I think he has galvanized a little bit, if I'm honest. So, shout out Southgate, man. Big up DG, just turning up. I think the real question is Kulusevski would sign for Arsenal. I think you mean would he sign for Arsenal? Again, that's a decision to make. Callum Chambers and Holding have been unlucky, but I would cash in. I would as well, but then we need to think about what's going to go on with the homegrown, because you could sell half of these homegrown players, like apart from Smith-Rowe and Saka and Ben White and Ramsdale by default have come in. Yeah, and I think Saliba can be registered for it soon. All of them have speculation about their futures. Like you can imagine, there is a reality maybe where potentially Nketiah, Chambers, Holding, Maitland-Niles, they all stay. I know with Ainsley playing well against Watford, but there's also a reality where these guys could leave. They're almost halfway in, halfway out sort of thing, if I'm honest with you. Chambers is lucky to have been an Arsenal player, to be honest. What do you think of three at the back when Saliba returns? Let's be able to play it, but I don't think we need to. We need to break our backs to play, if that makes sense. Why would you keep Holding? As I said, I would sell them both, but I'd rather keep Holding. I get that Chambers is a bit more adaptable. I think Holding defo has a lot of errors in his game, but I don't think Holding's as bad as people make out. I think he's got good leadership qualities, and you see it when he plays with Saka. I think he's okay for the squad. That being said, when he's being out jumped to headers by Raheem Sterling and Jota, I can't disagree with anything in it. So, yeah, man, I understand if and Holding's under contract longer. What Chambers is under contract until 2023 or something like that. I don't know if there's an option of extending that, but I'd rather go out and get the P's and on him, to be fair. And I think with Chambers, not that I'm making this a Holding defense league, but Chambers, he's had good moments, but he's actually in the same position since he signed for Arsenal. Are you a centre back, centre mid, or right back? You've done everything apart from centre mid in an Arsenal shirt. We did have time to loan you to Fulham to do that though. But yeah, between the summer and January and the summer, we need to be moving on some of the dead wood. And if you can, could you find someone with a similar profile to Marie who's actually good, Cedric who's actually good? Because I'm, as much as the squad age is 23, I'm on having experienced players in the squad. It's just 9 times out of 10 we're bringing in shit, man. It's not making sense. He needs to win it, or it's a Belgium thing for England. Harsh. Southgate stat padding on paper, bro. It is, you know, but at the same time, he man are harsh, bro. He's earned it. Thoughts on Pedro Gonçalves? Unrealistic. I haven't seen too much of the Portuguese lad. He's at Sporting, right? I like him a lot, really. So from what I've seen, he can play a couple of roles, especially in midfield. I'm on that, man. Holding ain't as bad. Played the most games for Arsenal for a centre back last season. Sell Chambers, keep Holding. And this is where I wish this was on. This is why you lot should follow me on Twitch. Because if this was on Twitch, we could do a poll. You lot could vote in real time. You can only do one poll a stream on YouTube. And I've used it already for, I don't even know. Was it, you lot should anyone sign Kulusevski? Tarkovsky's contract ending end of the year. Would you take in DG? No. Decent, but no. Bro, don't get it twisted. Bellerin, Holding, Chambers, man's got bare PTSD for the savaging. You know, even Liverpool. Liverpool sticks out the most. When I think of Holding and Chambers, I think Mo Salah. I think Mane. Shook. What about throwing some cash at Declan Rice? I would love Declan Rice, but we ain't got 100 million, and especially 100 million for Declan Rice. Would you take Kessie in January and Bruno Gomares in the summer? I'd take them anytime, any place, even though it can't happen, man. Come to the club. Sign for the club. Simple business. But I'm very wary. I think if you can get me free, you see the sort of way that Partey and Lokonga plays. I'm open to bringing in one more man that plays like that. After that, expansive midfielders. Carl, you man, I'm even mad. Some of you in these comments, you lot would have, if you had your way, we'd have Zachariah, Kessie, Basuma, Lokonga, Partey. Bro, that's a tired midfield. Of course, pause every time. Good save there. This is dead. Like they're not dead players, but that's no creativity. They can't break down a low block. Then we're gonna play a rigid side. Well, you lot are gonna bore yourselves to death. We need more expansive players in this team. I can't lie, I'm very biased, man. Football Manager, what I signed I ain't done it yet, but probably at some point today we're gonna run Maddison, Odegaard, Smith-Rowe all in the same lineup. Really. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Big up Nightbot. People just want runners, man. It works hard and that, and then they get mad. Kakare's free to come. Ours free to come. But whether the club want to go and buy these guys and bring them in is another story, people. More DMs than my girl. Lord God, that was a good one. Ideally, Telemans again, but the money thing for United can make sense. But when you're linked with the foreign clubs and you're linked with City and that, Liverpool as well and that, like, Telemans ain't gonna hear that from us. Telemans would make us champions. I don't think Telemans would definitely make us better, but I don't think he makes us champions, man. Telemans contract ending. Exactly, he's leaving. And again, when you look at clubs, You never want to be the last to leave a rave. You never want to leave the rave when the lights are turning on. Some of you go home with some dusty looking things. You see the light, beer goggles are off. You want to leave. You don't want to be the last to leave a project. You never want to be at Liverpool. You know, Edwards is leaving. I don't know what the rebuild is saying, but I wouldn't want to be the last out. So between Salah, Mane, Klopp, someone's got to think of something. And the same goes for any other situations, you know. City, they're probably going to be still up there. But if it's looking shaky after Pep, I would want to get out of there, you know. It's like with Leicester. You want to get out of there. You want to quit before the game quits you, sort of thing. That's deep about gassing Telemans, but I hear it. I don't think he makes us, him alone, elevates us to title challengers, respectfully. I hear it. Passion and desire, football, working hard, man. Man, have to have some source, man. Even with Conte said, yo, you got to pass the ball forward. You look at Jordan Henderson. He's got a bit more pizzazz about him on a ball now. It's not just the Sunderland working class hero thing. You can't just do that. Like, man's not on that. I can't lie. I'm not on it. I've seen enough working hard, man. Respectfully, Joe Willock, I love you, but all you used to do is just run around and work hard. I don't want no more of that. We need it. Their creative players have to be able to work hard. But if we're saying, man, don't you lot get bored of half of these players we talk about? Yeah, he works hard. He puts in his shift. So I hear it. I agree with it. I overcompensate to do it myself. But man, I have to put in his shift. That's the minimum. Like, and if we're real with ourselves, if the first thing, because my brethren said this to me the other, like, years ago, and I've been saying it ever since in the live streams. If the first thing you say about a player is he works hard, he gives his all for the badge and stuff, it might not be wrong, but is the player good? And he said that in a question format, and it made me think: is the player wavy? If you say man puts his all, he works hard, he puts in the shift, the player can't be good technically. Then he ain't got much about him. Then, and don't get twisted. Out of a 25-man squad, realistically, you need some players that are shit. They just work hard, they rattle, man. They do all of this stuff. But you get paid for that. Man said, Willock stands, where are you? Wouldn't mind Odegaard as an 8 with Kessie and Partey in a 4-3-3. Oh, TM, I would be on that as well, man. But still, man. Well, Banasia shouldn't have been allowed to go. I know we say it a lot, but I think in particular, and we say it about bare players, Gnabry, Banasia, Daniel Marlon, they're the three, and that should have been in the first team. I know there's Jeffrey Adelaide, there's all these guys, but these guys should have been part of this first team. DG, Klopp's side is one of the oldest in the Prem, going to be peak after he leaves. And this is what I mean. Liverpool got a rebuild, car. All their players are for the present. Like what? Salah's only 29, provided he stays. He can still do it till 32, 33. And that's what, a 4-year period. But, you know, Klopp has said, I'm not going to be there forever. You know, his contract runs out same time as Gerrard at Villa. You know, Firmino is around 28, 29. Mane the same age. Salah the same age. Van Dijk the same age. I don't know how Alisson is. You know, I know they've got Harvey Elliott. They're looking to get Fabio Carvalho. They'll probably sign another star. They've got Jota. They've got Trent. They've got people for the old school. But again, Klopp, Salah, none of these men are Liverpool fans. It's a job for them. I know they love the club and all that jazz, but you never want to be the last to leave a project. It's as simple as that. Same way when we moved to the Emirates, you don't want to be the last out. Look at Henry. You don't want to be the last out. Like I say, no one wants to leave a rave last. Man, then he's catching corn. I swear we're the only country in the world who puts value on running around at putting in a shift, bro. Again, that's the thing with England. Yeah, I've clocked some footballers know as a defensive mechanism. Certain people, how do I make it make sense? Certain players know that if I just see being seen shouting and carrying on, I can get away with it. I might be doing the wrong things. You know, look how Fred gets a lot more heat and in comparison to McTominay, even though they're both kind of poor, you know, because McTominay's clocked out to look like a Man United man and all these things, you know. And then you have the flip side of it, you know. You look at people like Martial and Ozil, people that aren't gonna, you know, they got a little face to them and whatnot. People say they don't care, they got an attitude problem. But as you said, in other countries now, yeah, if you're putting in the shift and working hard and it's effective, fair play, more power to you. But people look at you like, why are you running around like a headless chicken? You're actually disrupting the game. And that's another thing. England are playing catch up to the other European nations and that. Bro, DG, bro, Guendouzi has the passion for and his desire, passion epitomizes Arsenal. It might, but the guy's gone, bro. Like, I'm not being funny. As much as I think Guendouzi's an amazing footballer, and I agree with you, I hear you. I would love him to be there. Trust me, bro. We're crying together in this Guendouzi thing. The man's left. He looks like he's gone. It's that. I would love him to come back, but all right, cool. It don't look like it's happening. By all means, criticize Arteta and whatever. It's a myth, bro. It's a myth. He's gone. You have to leave it now. The better players have left. My heart stopped bleeding for footballers when Thierry Henry left his football club. I can't lie to you. I still remember vividly seeing my neighbor show me the newspaper. Like, never again, man. Never again. Here we call people running around but not doing much alibi players because they are there to have an alibi but don't really do anything. Nah. And we do. Do you know what it is? It's experience for the sake of experience. Like them other clubs, it's how it's not just, you know, someone might be 32 and he's too old to sign, but someone might be 32 and they've got many years left. It's the individuals, how they carry themselves, is the, you know, and we can't see it, but the things they eat and all of those sort of things. There's probably a couple people. What? Ronaldo at 37, yeah, it's an extreme example. He's not 37, I'm lying, but you know, he's an extreme athlete, you know, and he's an extreme example. Ronaldo, on top of the desire, he should not be physically fitter than a lot of early 20-year-olds and stuff like that. But the man's dedicated to how he carries on. And there's probably examples of people with a similar look at Milner, bro. Milner's probably one of the fittest at Liverpool. You know, if I'm a young player, shout out Milner, but if I'm a young player and Milner's above me for anything, even including long distance, bro, you need to fix up. You need to stop drinking whatever fizzy pop you're drinking and all these things. I'm all for the work hard midfield, exactly, but we need source. I love workhorses, but I'm not trying to watch that for 38 games, bro. I can't lie to you. Unless we're trying to do this bullying thing where we're just going to be a team of piano pushers. We're just going to spoil people's day, rough them up, be villains. I'm on that, like just some Jose Mourinho stuff. If we just pack up and say, you know what we tried to do didn't work, we're just going to live to spoil people and rattle Man FC like what I tried to do on Sundays. I'm all for that. But I'm not trying to pay money and go Emirates and see bullshit. Like, I need to see players who can pass the ball. I need to see players who can hit a cross-field pass. I need to see players who can dictate a game from midfield. I'm not going to lie, I don't really see that at my club. Decore, nah, you got to leave that one alone, man. And this is the thing about balance, bro. We've got too much workhorses. We had too much sauce. We don't have too much, man. Big ups and kits as well. And that's it. Guendouzi's amazing, but he's not Thierry Henry, fam. Like, it's an L. I'm pissed off that he's leaving. I think Guendouzi had a lot more to go to give. Obviously, Arteta, you're catching a lot of heat from me personally. The more Guendouzi develops, and you know me, I'm very vocal the minute he plays for France and them things there. But the reality is, it's gone now, isn't it? Like, after all it, it's gone. Accept it. It is what it is. Bring me a midfielder and I'm cool. Like, I can't lie to you. Bring me two midfielders. If you brought me a midfielder in the summer, I'd probably be quite quiet about Guendouzi, but you didn't. You're bidding for guys like Locatelli, where we know in our hearts we're not getting, man. It's like me and Football Manager. We're bidding for guys we know we got no chance of. Heard people say Ben White is DM. To be fair, the media, the media said bare stuff, man. Ben White, one season in the Prem, which is true. One season in the Prem. Don't know if he's a right back, centre back, all of this sort of tosh. You know, not the best centre back at Brighton, which that's cool. I don't care if he's the best or the worst. As long as he's a good player for Arsenal, I don't give a shit about Brighton or what they're doing, respectfully. If any Brighton people are listening and you want to employ DG for the scouting thing, you know I got the talent ID level 2 shout, man, innit? But I don't care. In the same way, you know, they said Tomiyasu, he's not a centre-back, he's a right-back. I don't really care what these men say because they look stupid, innit? But I do like the adaptability, generally. Would you take Kimmich? Would Kimmich take us? Real Leeds and Brighton fans know how good Ben White is. I can't lie, if Partey's out, Ben White, DM is a shout. It's something we got to be able to do, but I'm not really on it. I'm not really on it. Smith-Rowe is onto that now, admitting he wasn't really listening to what he was being instructed to do, including nutrition and hydration. You could see he was carrying an extra 2 kilos or 2. And for me, it was more like you could see him getting cramp and stuff. And I still think a lot of it is, and he said it as well, and we could all see it, a lot of it is he's having to deal physically with needing to play twice a week, 3 times in 10 days. But again, it's about how you recover and whatnot. When you're young, you can get away with eating a Nando's and all of these sort of things, but it's about setting habits. And then obviously they can see, even though they're young, they're not too young enough, they're not too old to develop some fine habits and to develop some good fine margins. Now you can see Smith-Rowe, what he's doing off the field is probably more important than him doing his little coaching sessions now, because he can run longer. He's got a real purple patch and things like that. You know, looking after yourself, and also on top of that, looking after your mind can do a lot for you. You know, it's all about having the positivity. You see a lot, you even hear Smith-Rowe talk about how he doesn't feel nervous anymore, or he copes with the nerves a better way. So it's an interesting one. And sometimes players are not necessarily not playing because of what we think it is. There's many different variables and things. This is why we can have our opinions, but we can't describe them as facts, man. Never too young to start. The better, you know, as you lot know in life, you know, the older you get, the harder it is to get rid of habits. You know, if you've been smoking for 10 months versus someone that's been smoking for 10 years, who's more likely to quit? Who would you put in defense if you put White in the middle? And this is it. You know, this is the problem. You know, I'd probably go free at the back and do a thing. It doesn't surprise me that Saka's played the most minutes under Arteta at all, because we've over relied on him way before Smith-Rowe's emergence and all these things. And there was times Saka was having to play centre, left-sided centre mid 10, right back, left back. We've over relied on Saka, but yeah, so it don't surprise me that he's up there for most minutes. And probably this time next year, Smith-Rowe will not, well, still be, assuming it stays the same. I'd imagine Saka is quite some distance ahead of Smith-Rowe, but you get the point. Again, we'll focus on Liverpool next week, but my immediate predictions, I think we'll lose. I would say, you know, I want to win, but lose with some dignity, man. Don't lose how we've been losing. You know, you know, if we've got to lose, let's just hold a 2-0, man. There's face to save, we can move. What I don't want against Liverpool is a mauling, man. I don't want to see us find Dice, Savage, switching off at set pieces, getting caught high up the field, just crumbling. I'm not on the crumbling thing, really. I'm liking Ben White, but I want to see what a TT Gabriel partnership at the best back looks like. I mean, we need other options in it, because Ben White and Gabriel, they're not going to be fit for the whole of their Arsenal lives, and they're not going to just have amazing form. We need to have one partnership, another partnership, you know, and that's one thing I've liked about Arteta. You're seeing partnerships develop, but at the same time, if you can't use Gabriel and Ben White, for argument's sake, can Marie and Ben White do a thing? Can Holding and this guy do a thing? You know, Tomiyasu might not play, but can you slide in a next right back, or Maitland-Niles at right back, and that unit still looks the same? Partey might not be there. Can we still get the same base level of performance within that midfield? You get it. Xhaka's not there. Can we still progress the ball, which we're struggling with? You know, Gabriel deserves hella praise, and I probably overpraise him, but you know, I'm very biased when it comes to Gabriel. As you look at two of the teams we played recently on that topic about partnerships, people, we played Brighton. You know, Brighton could probably take Dunk and their best centre half out of the team. You don't see a drop off. Ben White left. You don't see much of a drop off. Why? Because that's testament to their recruitment, to their manager, but also the defensive system. When we played Palace, it's a different one, but they never had Zaha. You never saw Zaha missed. Against Brighton, they were missing Webster and Basuma in midfield as well. You never saw it because there's a base level. We need to be able to do that. Yeah, I do know they're injured, man, but I don't know when they're back. For the first time in years, I'm starting to see a spine form. Just need to get another centre mid times 2, let's put, and a striker. Yeah, and then it's just a case of complementing the squad. DG Ben White played all 38 in Leeds Championship win and Brighton season where he got pots. Not sure what you're saying there, man. I hope you're right and we do upset Liverpool, man. But I just minimum, you know, you've done the minimum for me. We've had a good run of form. We took insurance against Watford. I would like a win. I would like to go and put some problems and things like that. But yeah, man, I just think it's going to be too hard for us. But again, apply yourself. No defeative attitude, because Brighton and West Ham went there and got half a point. We're going to have a very angry Liverpool side. We're going to have a side that Jurgen Klopp's had in the international break, and he's preaching the importance of you lot fucking about and dropping points. So they're going to hit us everything they've got. They're not going to be any complacency. I'm hoping there's a bit of tired legs for the ones that are playing for their countries. I'm hoping, obviously, you know, I never want anyone to be injured, but I'm hoping that we don't get these players in final form. We need Salah to have an off day, and to be fair to you, I want to see Salah's a big test, because very few players can defend against Salah 1v1. You need to be humble, double up against a man, 3-4, gang up on him, make him run up into blind alleys for enlarge what what West Ham did. You know, he ended up getting an assist, but he never done nothing against West Ham because they did suffer. And I think when you look at West Ham, they showed you have to respect Liverpool. The game is going to be played for large periods in your own half. You're going to be defending on the edge of your own area, but clear your lines, have belief, and you can exploit that high line. You can get them on the transition. You can score goals. You fundamentally need belief. And to be fair to you, the way West Ham are playing, they're a bit different. They probably just treated every game so far as it's been in it. So it's one of them ones, in my opinion. Hit the like button if you haven't done such already, people. Very interesting talks that we're having at this moment. 252 likes, so close to 300. If we lose, it's not dramatic, but we need to smash Newcastle after. And again, Newcastle are going to be thinking, you know, Newcastle are going to be they're fighting for relegation. Like, you don't want to play Premier League football. Some of you will not touch Premier League again. Some of you, especially because of Newcastle, with their new owners, won't. So you need people to stand up to be counted. So we can't just look at that. But you're right. You need to know when to take points. That's another thing I've liked about us this season. We might not have caused any upsets or really pulled up any trees by beating a team that's in mad form. But one thing that Arsenal used to do is certain teams would lose for 9 games. They buck us on the 10th game. They would play well and win. Or a player might be on a barren run. They might score. And we did that with Benteke. But I like that we didn't lose to Palace and Brighton, to be fair, but that's not relevant. I like the fact that we was able to keep Aston Villa's poor form going. You know, we was able to keep Spurs' poor form going. Do you get? Watford weren't able to get any change out of us, sort of thing. I like that. Do you start Tavares against Salah or Tini? That man scares me. Either one's going to struggle, and it's a difficult one because you could go with Tavares, who probably will struggle a lot more defensively than Tini, but because he's a bit unpredictable and he's a bit of a madman, he might just go forward. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, 9 times out of 10, has no defending to do in this league. He might give him something. And to go with, assuming, you know, we've got a competent partnership on that left, probably Smith-Rowe will move out there. You could get something really and truly. Obviously, Tierney's more experienced. He does go forward, but yeah, he might struggle and his form might play a part. So I think both men will struggle. Whoever's out there needs to double up. They need their central midfielder, who's ever on that left-hand side, to pull over as well. Like I said, you've got to be humble and respect Salah. He's a world-class footballer and a Premier League legend. Respect him, you know. Be confident. Don't over-respect him. Believe you can defend. But if he gets past you, he gets past you. You know, the next man there, really and truly. No shame in getting done dirty by Salah at all. You know, to be fair, I remember a couple of years ago, Ainsley Maitland-Niles playing left back and locking down Mo Salah. So it might be one to go through the archives. We're only 2 points behind Liverpool. We should be trying to get a result against these, man. 100%. 100%. Potts equals player of the season. Yeah. And they said Ben White's still inexperienced. He's got a good foundation to build. I'm learning some terminology every day, man. Potts, you know. Thinking, what's that? But for me, again, fundamentally, I just don't want to get absolutely rubbed out against Liverpool. I don't want the thrashings. No thrashing. Just leave. If Salah does a madness, I got no problem accepting that he's a quality player. Like, let him do mad stuff, but don't present man with stuff. I hope Arteta has this master plan and stuff you speak of, man. I don't know, but I hope so, broski. I hope so. I'll take your word for it, man. Let me see if there's any other Arsenal related stuff going on. 410 again. We're playing Football Manager, people. Oh, I almost fell for some clickbait. I can't lie. These journalists are good, man. Arsenal star turns back on Arteta revolution with crystal clear statement. And Arsenal midfielder has revealed he wishes to leave the Gunners and permanently join the side where he's currently comfortable at. Do you know how elite that clickbait was? Because then I clicked it and it's Guendouzi. Do you know how elite that was? Shout out to you, man. That was that. Whoever that is, shout out to you because you had me there. Are you playing FM22? Of course. Set pieces, they look dodgy. And we score goals from set pieces. So again, exploit that. To be fair, Arteta sometimes shines against big teams, sometimes not all the time, innit? Partey is rested and ready for this game. We'll win this game, DG. I hope so. If we apply ourselves, let's do the thing. There's pros and cons for both of them. I think starting Tavares could exploit the gap between Trent Alexander-Arnold, but we could also be exposed. Khalid, that's it. And it's a risk. For me, again, it's a bit stupid because it don't make sense, but I want to start Tierney. But I'd rather us take the risk, you know. If it don't work out, it don't work out. I'm open to even playing 3 at the back, but regardless of the formation, whatever, I just want us to have try and move to them, innit? Try and win a game of football. Respect them. Don't be naive, but respect. I'm tired of just sitting back and, you know, we might lose 2-0. Like, oh, we didn't lose 3. I don't like the defeative mindset. I never saw that from Brighton. I never saw that from West Ham, you know. 2 good functioning units. But let's be honest, respectfully to West Ham and Brighton, if them man can do that, Arsenal Football Club should be able to do that. Legitly. Like, I just want them, I want you to believe, push them to the limit. At the end of the day, the beautiful thing about football, unless you're taking performance enhancing drugs and things like that, you don't have anything that's of a benefit to you over an opponent. If you're faster or stronger or more skillful, that's because you've worked on that or God's given you that talent. Like I always say, it's not Formula One where according to what brand or whatever your company you're with, the car is slightly better and things like that. So if you apply yourself and believe from minute 0 to 90, forgive yourself for any setbacks you go through. So it's calm, you know. Anfield, you know, Anfield spirit, 12th man, all of that jazz, clock getting them ready and stuff. You know, we struggled against that with Brighton. If you can get yourself accountable that it's going to be an uncomfortable evening, if you know at times you're going to have to defend, you know, all man's to the pump, keeper might have to make a great save. There'll be some nervous moments. If you know they're probably going to score because of their great players, and as much as we want the clean sheet, if you can recognize these things, you have half a chance. You recognize these fears, meet them head on. And I want to see that from my young guys, because one thing I like about youth players is sometimes they can let the occasion swallow them under, but sometimes they're naive to it. You know, and I think at times when Smith-Rowe's come into the team, when Saka's come into the team, when Martinelli's played, at times in a positive way, we've benefited from that. In that it's not that they don't know what's going on in the context and what's going on with Arsenal. It's just they can't really, from a footballing point of view, it looks like they can't see more than I'm getting an opportunity to play here. I'm a young man. I want to play. And that youthful exuberance helps us. We need an element of unpredictability because, again, Klopp's analytical team, they were one of the first guys to start exploiting throw-ins and them things there. We know they're going to be trying to find fine margins. We know how good their front three is. We know that they're going to have injuries, but there's other players. They have a quality. They're a Premier League and Champions League winning squad. Accept them at that, raise your level accordingly. And for me, you look at, again, we're at the point now where we praise them, but we do need now to start cherry picking, because that's how you improve. If we cherry pick, for me personally, my unpopular opinion is we're going to learn a very harsh lesson very soon, because we don't manage games out well enough. Even when it looks like it is, we don't. There's too many, you know, even the last game, as great as Smith-Rowe and Lokonga were, stray passes in the midfield. Smith-Rowe's pockets pick, they counter-attack and they don't score. You can't afford for these things to happen as regular as it does. You know, the game against Spurs, it could have went another way. Villa, it could have went another way. Leicester, it could have went another way. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, not facts. Brighton, it could have. Palace, we caught live. These sort of margins, we're not going to get that against a top side like Liverpool. And again, they're fighting for the title. They have dropped points. Klopp is going to be angry. He's probably not going to smile. That's probably one of the only days in Klopp's life in England that he hasn't smiled. But if we can relish this and not get scared and say, yeah, all right, cool. This is what the Premier League's about. This is what some of you wanted to be footballers for. This is what some of you moved to the Prem for. Relish it. It's all fun and games doing it against Watford and Norwich and Burnley and these teams. They're 3 teams, 3 of the 4. I think all 3 of them are fighting relegation. Respectfully, pattern up now. It's one of them ones. You know, you're in the bit, and like you said, Arteta's got a half decent thing, but it's not even a game for tactics. These players, when they go down to travel to Liverpool, they need to get themselves in that headspace. Same way against Leicester, I saw a man in the right headspace from the start. That's what you need to do. No, let's just not just don't get smacked up, man. Appreciate the members. Shout out 1-1. Shout out Yoni. Liverpool's going to want to make a statement against us. Every man has to be up to the challenge just to keep the game competitive. Can't play out of fear. Play on the front foot, even if that means playing 3-5-2, holding them down, countering with speed to hit at them. Sorry, nothing wrong with that. Exactly. Just found out that in the last 3 games, not a single Emre signing was in the starting 11. Well, it's his team now. Aubameyang hat-trick incoming. Hopefully, my guy. Hope and pray and hope, man. Same, I think, Tavares, but if it goes bad, do you hook him? Well, yeah, any player that's struggling out there gets hooked, bro. What do you think this is? Of course. We have Ben White, Gabriel, and TT to cover. Yeah, you don't want to get caught 3 versus 3, and you don't really ideally want Gabriel stretched into that left-sided area. I'm honest with you. Need to see us actually try a little bit possession, none of that 25% stuff, anti-football stuff, 100%. And for me, if I'm Liverpool, logically, if you've got Tomiyasu, that's going to be narrow. You've got a left-handed side. Fair enough. Mane doesn't play, but I'm telling not Trent, Robertson, get down that left-hand side. He doesn't want to come past that halfway line too many times. You want to defend, yeah, bro? Go and defend, because you sitting back and being narrow, that might be Arteta's thing. But to me, as an opposition fan, that's you telling me that's an invitation to go forward. Get forward in the same way he's going to tell Trent. Now, can we exploit the spaces that these fullbacks leave? Can we press them high? Can we take advantage of that high line? This is where we need to do. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling good about the Liverpool game, as you should. We're in a decent run of form, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll say unpopular opinion, but I still feel the same way I do about Arsenal as I did at the end of last season. I've seen the good, bad, and the ugly. Right now, it's the good. The bad was probably, the Palace games, the Brighton games where we've got away with it, but we ain't really turned up. The ugly, obviously, COVID, and that made it difficult, but you get it. So I'm still at the same point. Even if we beat Liverpool, I keep saying it. For me, it's a mating. You lot can keep showing me good and bad moments. All I'm at, I will change an opinion on you lot. For me, my opinion on you lot, some good players on your day, you can do a thing. At best, I've seen you lot on isolated incidences, put in performances against Liverpool, against Spurs, against Leicester, against Chelsea. But in the grand scheme of things, when May comes, I don't know where you lot are sitting. So again, you lot need to prove it to yourselves, because I got nothing to do with it apart from being a fan. But for me personally, these boys haven't proven nothing to me. Because I feel we're overcompensating. I feel a lot of things we're praising them for, they deserve all the praise for. But I also think a lot of them, a lot of what we're praising them is in comparison. If you was looking at a half-competent team, they're minimums. They're not praising. You lot always praise me for being consistent, and I appreciate all the kind words you lot give me. It's never underestimated for a second. Please don't think anything different. But if I want this to grow, if I want, you lot to always be here or whatever, I have to have a consistency. No one needs to tell me that. When I get up, I know what I need to do, and I think these players need to demand that. So, yeah, man. No fear and clinical in front of goal, and we have big chances of winning the Liverpool game. Aubameyang has to be on it. I see no reason why Tavares should be dropped for Tierney. He's been really consistent and deserves this chance against a top Liverpool team. Win, lose, or draw. I just want to see my team play with courage. Can't disagree with any of that, man. But again, these lot need to. Our biggest enemies are ourselves, man. They need to get themselves in the headspace. Again, tactics are important. By the way, Emre's unbeaten run in the Prem was 14 games with only 2 clean sheets. It's dead, man. Bro, Arsenal fans wanted to fight me about Emre's run. Remember, I went on AFTV. Go and look at the comments now. You must be really deluded for giving Emre a 5 out of 10. I think even one of the thingy says that. I'm not saying my forecasting skills are on point. I just comment on what things I can see in front of me. I don't care about being proven right, because I wanted to be proven wrong. But lo and behold, who's had the last laugh? I'm not laughing because I would have loved Arsenal to win stuff, but you get it. I'd rather scrape a point at Anfield and set pace when they come Emirates. I just don't want to hold 5-6s again. I mean, 4 points off Liverpool would be decent, man. I don't think Verratti would get crucified in this league. He's actually a baller, but yeah, man. Eye test. Don't get it twisted. You need to marry stats and eyes, and the eyes and stats. But when people this is like, last season, people would have lied to themselves and said Arsenal are one of the best defensive sides in the Prem because we were up there for clean sheets. You can't be one of the best defensive sides, because at that point last season, every one of them defenders has bad habits, and they're not necessarily good defenders, with the exception of my guy Gabriel at the time. We definitely need dark arts. Bro, we've got to keep exactly. Our keeper is player of the month. We've had largely one-sided games where our keeper is man of the match. Now, I'm not criticizing these things. I'm just trying to elevate you lot to think differently and say, okay, if our keepers are man of the match, despite the fact that we think we've run away with this game, are we as convincing as we should be? Is this game as one-sided as it should be? So it's one of them, man. It's a very interesting one to look at, man. A very interesting one to be looking at. So we'll see how it develops, man. Klopp's gonna cry if we use dark arts. Fuck Klopp and his moaning, man. He always moans, but his team does more. Bro, this Trent almost chopped off Saka's head. Robertson's a little see you next Tuesday with it. All's fair in love and war, man. Meet fire with fire now, man. If we lose, we lose. We are not expected to win. Put in a good shift and be competitive. Please don't go there and embarrass all of us. I love the confidence, but Anfield is no joke. player of the month compared to player of the man of the match. If our player is, you know, as great as Ramsdale is, you know, again, I'd rather us not learn a damn thing about Ramsdale. Even when we're keeping clean sheets, even Ramsdale of his own accord, there's been a couple shaky periods. I'm not criticizing these lot because I expect it in their game. I'm just saying it's only when we seem to win that Arsenal fans don't want to talk about the fine margins. I guarantee you. Do you know how much views I get when, you know, when you know, we'll probably get more views when we talk about stuff from a tactical point of view when we lose, because anyone only wants to hear the microscopic things when we've lost. Everyone's it's being negative, but it's not positive or negative. It is a statement if you win at Anfield, but that's all it. But you know, come Sunday morning, it doesn't mean anything. Again, we've beat them in the cup. Fair enough, not in the league. It would be a statement, but for me personally, you know, I wouldn't thingy. Like, it doesn't prove nothing to me. All I need to see is me. Bro, I'd do a lot for a point as well, man. I'm getting hyped for this game. If we can manage a win, we can drag Liverpool into the top 4 scrap. But I also feel like we're going to come out 5th/6th. We've only had 3 or 4 good performances during this run, bro. Can't get carried away. Hey, people get carried away, bro. Our keeper shouldn't be on heroics every game. Now, it shouldn't be like that, but we're at where we're at, innit? We're at where we're at, broski. If, which again we need to remember, is the golden word. If he can keep this consistently this season, maybe I'll cheer for Arteta next season. That's a bit harsh. No, Ramsdale's wavy, man. But you can see between Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel still got them in there. Ramsdale, pardon me, Tierney had a couple at the start of the year. This defense has mistakes in them, and there is brain farts that is to come. There is mistakes, but mistakes happen, bro. None of these are world-class players. So there is a level of expectation, but at the same time, there isn't a level of expectation, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, man, I can't lie, man. On that note, though, I'm gonna keep it moving, though, people, man. We've been here for almost 2 hours. It's time to grab a little food and then, you know, do a couple things away from YouTube, and then I'm back at 4:10. But let me see a couple more things you lot have to say, man. Man, think we will beat Liverpool but can't create against Liverpool. Man, think we will beat Liverpool but can't create against Watford. Win, draw, or at least keep the goal difference at minimum. Gonna keep harping on goal difference all season. Right now, we're -10 on the least of the top 4 teams, West Ham, and it's true. 10 games, 5 clean sheets. Need to improve the attack, though. Some games it's dead, it's non-existent. Facts, but again, it feels like we're not gonna get much with the personnel we have. Like, Maitland-Niles and Lokonga played quite well in the middle of the park last game, but you're not going to get much of a creative tune out of them because it's not them. I know a lot of you blur the lines with Partey and say he can pass the ball forward, but the man's a box-to-box ball-winning midfielder first and foremost. Anything he does beyond that is a bonus, and I think a big part as to why Partey don't quite look like the Atletico one is because obviously he's going to be scrutinised more here because we're not levels, and because there hasn't always been in this team definitive roles, not just for him, for everything. Every time a player comes here, lines start getting blurred. Ben White, Cedric, Tomiyasu, you know, hell of them attacking players and things like that. Half these midfielders. DG, thanks for the stream. The restaurant was nice still. Goat did sweet me, so no blame assigned to you. I'll go with 2-1 Arsenal, but God, I don't know, man. Appreciate that, see. Let me make sure. 10 past 4, but I'll see you then. Let me make sure I ain't missed out anything, man. I hate missing things out. What's your prediction for Arsenal next game? Right now, I'm going to just be a bit hopeful and say 2-1 Arsenal. If I had to bet peas, I'd say 3-1 Liverpool. So I'll leave you with that one, man. But yeah, man, let me go get some food. But we need a couple of 8s, man. We need people who can dictate. You know, people forget holding on to the ball is a style of defending. You know, we don't hold on to the ball well enough, man. Are Arsenal as big as fans think? Yeah, we're a big club historically. That's where Arsenal's problem lies. I think I know what you mean in that we're not quite, people haven't seen just how far this team has to go and where they're currently at. And you said it there, man. You know, we're only as good as our last game. Really and truly there, man. So yeah, man, you lot take care. I'll see you lot in a bit. Obviously, timestamps will be available in just a second. When I close this off, I'll put them in the thumbnail. I said thumbnail in the description for those of you that aren't tuning in. I think at 1 p.m., which 24 minutes ago, my latest Football Manager one went live. So yeah, take that in. I'm trying to upload the FA Cup final stream as well. I want to bring that out for you lot today as well. You know, those of you that are on YouTube are working on a backlog. Obviously, if you want to catch it in real time, hit up the Twitch. But yeah, man, on that note, stay blessed. Hope you've all had a good week and you're all having a good start to the weekend. It's been a fantastic talk where obviously we've spoken about Kulusevski. We've touched on many things, people. So yeah, man, appreciate you lot. Without you lot's engagement levels, it's dead, isn't it, really and truly, man? So yeah, man, I appreciate you lot. You lot stay safe wherever you are, wherever you're doing, and we'll buck up again, people. So yeah, DG.
There's always just that active red flag defenders. I think it's like